This story isn't just about politics or a press conference. It's about how one determined reporter set out to expose a man she thought she understood, only to discover a truth far deeper than any headline could ever reveal. When a young journalist tried to embarrass Donald Trump in front of a live audience, she never expected that what he'd say would leave her stunned, speechless, and forever changed. Cara Bell was a bold and rising journalist at just 28 years old, carving her path with fearless reporting and unfiltered commentary. Her raw and unapologetic style had made her a favorite among younger viewers, and her name was quickly climbing in the newsroom hierarchy. One afternoon, her editor handed her what many reporters only dream of, a one-on-one opportunity with former President Donald Trump during a community forum in Ohio. "This is your shot," her boss told her. "Make it count. Make a name." Cara Bell, often called Cara, saw this not just as a professional breakthrough but as a mission. She wanted to challenge Trump, expose what she believed was his disconnect from the everyday American. For days, she studied his interviews, public appearances, viral gaffes, anything that might give her an edge in the room. When the day finally came, the venue in Riverbend was buzzing with life veterans, farmers, single parents, and students. Filled the community center. The cameras rolled, lights flashed, and as Trump walked on stage with surprising ease and warmth, Cara stood near the front, press badge visible and heart thumping. "No teleprompters today," Trump announced. "Just real people and real stories." Cara tightened her grip on the microphone. This was it, her moment. She stood. "Mr. President," she began, her voice sharp and steady. "How can a billionaire who lives in a golden tower truly understand the daily struggles of a single mom living paycheck to paycheck, or a veteran sleeping in his truck?" The room fell still. Even the youngest attendees paused, watching for a reaction. To her surprise, Trump didn't dodge or deflect. He nodded. "Fair question," he said sincerely. Cara blinked. "That wasn't what she'd expected," he continued. "Yes, I was born into wealth, but I've sat beside workers in pain. I've seen grief in the eyes of veterans in hospitals. You don't have to live someone else's struggle to care about it." He spoke about a woman named Julia, a single mom who cleaned offices in New York, who once gave him her last sandwich during a long day. Her humility wasn't shaped by poverty, it came from her strength, he added. Then turning to the crowd, Trump pointed gently. "Her daughter's here today, Claire. Would you stand up?" A young woman in her 20s, wearing a simple dress and a White House intern badge, slowly rose. "She's not here because of who her mother was. She's here because of who she is," Trump said. Claire's eyes shimmered. The crowd clapped. For a politician, but for a story of grace and grit. Cara's question, once meant to cut deep, suddenly felt less like an accusation and more like a conversation. She let herself just listen. Afterward, Cara found Claire. "Are you really Julia's daughter?" Claire nodded. "Yeah, Mom passed away last year. Mr. Trump paid for the funeral. Quietly said he owed her a sandwich." Cara stood stunned. That detail wasn't in any article or broadcast. "Not everything makes headlines," Claire said with a soft smile. Back in her hotel room that night, Cara stared at her notes. Her original plan and exposed no longer aligned with what she'd seen. The next morning, something unexpected happened. Trump's team reached out. "He'd like to speak with you privately, no cameras." That didn't happen. Presidents didn't just meet off the record with journalists who grilled them, but curiosity won out. Later that day, Cara sat across from Trump in a quiet town hall room. "You came to corner me," he said evenly. She didn't deny it. "But you listened yesterday," he continued. "That takes more guts than yelling." He slid a folder across the table. "What's this?" she asked. "Names," he replied. "People I've met. Veterans, farmers, workers. Their stories matter. Talk to them, not for me, for them." She flipped through the list. No PR spin, just humanity. "Why me?" she asked. Trump looked her in the eye. "Because you asked the hard question and you might be the only one willing to hear the real answer." The first name, Raymond Kane, a homeless Navy veteran living in Cincinnati. Cara found him under a bridge with an old Bible and a shopping cart. He was clean-shaven and proud. "Tell me your story," she asked. 20 years in the Navy. PTSD, addiction. Lost everything," he said. She asked, "How do you feel about the president?" Raymond's eyes welled up. "He visited my shelter. No press. Just asked what I needed. I told him, a second chance." He held up a small key. "Next morning, a VA staffer handed me keys to an apartment. Said it came from a quiet donor. I knew who it was." Cara wrote the story. Not politics, just truth. She titled it, "The Man Under the Bridge." It exploded. Comments flooded in from both sides of the aisle. It wasn't about Trump, it was about Raymond. About second chances. Her editor called. "This is the biggest story we've had all year." But Cara wasn't celebrating. She was quietly changed. More names followed. One name caught her eye. LBLNYC 2009. Next to it, scholarship, single mother's request. She froze. Her mother, Linda Bell, was a schoolteacher who raised her alone. Kara remembered almost turning down her college offer because they couldn't afford I-10 till a mysterious scholarship showed up. She called an old contact. Was there a Linda Bell scholarship? Yes, the woman said. Privately funded. Letter said, this girl's mother believes in her more than the world ever will. That's enough for me. Kara broke down. Trump hadn't known she was the same girl. He had just read her mom's plea and helped. Later, she approached him. At another event, I came to take you down, she said. But instead, you gave me back my story. She told him everything. The scholarship, her mom, the letter. He looked down. Your mother was the hero. I just did the easy part. No, she said. You believed in someone you'd never met. That matters. He smiled. Sometimes we don't need to be right. Just human. Later that night, she wrote her most personal story yet. The president, the scholarship, and my mother's letter. It shattered records, but more importantly, it healed something in her. Some accused her of selling out, but others, teachers, single parents wrote to thank her. She didn't chase headlines anymore. She chased truth. One day, a little girl asked Trump at a panel, why do people yell at you? He chuckled, because truth makes people uncomfortable sometimes, but that's okay. The crowd laughed. Kara asked playfully, any regrets? I regret not hiring your mom. She'd have been a better chief of staff than half the people I knew. That moment Kara, laughing, then crying, viral, but not because it was political, because it was human. She received a handwritten note. Your mom is proud. Keep writing. No signature, but she knew who sent it. One day she tracked down another person on the list. Eli Thompson, a Nebraska farmer nearly ruined by drought, wrote a letter once. He told her, didn't expect anything. But a week later, a grant arrived. No interviews, just help. Why haven't you shared this before? Because I didn't want favors, just fairness. She wrote his story. The rain came after the letter. Another quiet miracle. Trump later invited her to dinner. Just them. Why do you help people quietly? She asked. If you talk about it too much, he said, it stops being about them. A month later, Trump gave a college commencement speech. There's a reporter here who once tried to expose me, he said, but ended up exposing something far more powerful, truth. He pointed at her. Carabelle, stand up. She did. The crowd cheered, and if her mother's watching, from above, Trump said, she raised a good one. Later, he asked her to lead a new media platform, one focused on real stories. No politics, just people. He said, you're offering me a job. No, a mission. She accepted. Her new show Voices Unheard featured mechanics who fixed cars for free, teens who built water purifiers, widows running schools out of their garages. She revived journalism not with outrage, but with empathy. One day, Trump invited her to the Rose Garden. A bench had been installed. A plaque, read, in honor of Linda Bell. She believed in truth and her daughter. Kara sobbed. You didn't have to do this, she said. Trump replied, you told the world her story. I just gave it a seat. Later, she asked him one last question. What do you want people to remember about you? That I listened even when they didn't believe I would. And what should they remember about themselves? That they matter, every single one of them. Back at her childhood home, Kara sat on the porch with her mom's old sweater and a pen in hand. On the first page, she wrote, once upon a time, a reporter set out to shame a man, but he gave her back her voice instead. And with that, she began again. Today, we learn that even the strongest beliefs can shift when we choose to truly listen. That sometimes, in seeking to reveal the truth about others, we uncover something deeper within ourselves. Kara went from trying to break someone down to lifting others up, including herself. All because she opened her heart. What would you have done in her place? Let us know in the comments.